Liam had a habit of walking the same route every morning before work. He'd leave his apartment just as the city began to wake up. The air cool, the lights soft, and the world still deciding what kind of day it wanted to be. At the end of his street, there was a small river. Not famous, not impressive, but peaceful. The kind of place where time seemed to stretch and breathe. Along the river stood an old wooden bench, uneven, weathered, with names and hearts carved into its surface. The first time he sat there, it was by accident. He'd had a long, exhausting week, full of meetings and noise, and stopped just to take a breath. But something about that spot made him come back the next morning, and the next, until it became part of him. Coffee in one hand, silence in the other. At first, it was just a pause, 5 minutes before diving back into the rush. But over time, it became more than that. The bench turned into a mirror, showing him who he was beneath the noise. One morning, a girl around 12 rode by on a scooter, her backpack bouncing behind her. She stopped, tilted her head, and looked at him curiously. "Do you come here every day?" she asked. "Most days," he said, smiling. "Helps me think." "What do you think about?" He laughed softly. "Usually about how I don't have time to think." She giggled. "My mom says people who sit quietly by rivers are sad." "And what do you think?" "I think they're just waiting for something." She rode away before he could answer, but her words followed him like a song. Waiting for something. Was that what he was doing? Waiting for life to start? For things to feel different? That night, he couldn't stop thinking about it. His life wasn't bad, it was just quiet in the wrong places. Predictable, safe, and strangely empty. The next morning, he brought a notebook to the bench. He wrote on the first page, "Things I want to do someday." At first, only 3 words came. Then more. Travel more. Learn guitar. Call my sister. Watch the sunrise. Simple things, but they felt like doors opening. Each morning, he added something new. Take a photo. Read again. Say yes to something new. The list became a quiet promise, not to the world, but to himself. Weeks passed. He didn't quit his job or move across the planet. But he started changing in small, invisible ways. He smiled at strangers. He left his phone in his pocket during lunch. He joined a photography class after work. And every morning, before the day began, he returned to the bench. One day, he saw the same girl again. She was skipping stones across the river. "Back already?" he asked. "I live close," she said. "You still waiting for something?" Liam thought for a moment. Maybe not waiting anymore. Maybe just learning how to be here. She grinned. "That's harder than waiting." She was right. Being present was work, the kind that no one saw but changed everything. Over time, other people began using the bench too. A man with a dog. A woman reading novels. Sometimes they shared a few words, sometimes only silence. But even silence felt like company. One rainy morning, he arrived to find the bench wet, shining under gray skies. He sat anyway. Drops slid from his hair, cold against his neck, but he didn't mind. The river still moved, patient and alive. And he realized he didn't come here to escape anymore. He came to begin. He started carrying his camera. He photographed reflections, fallen leaves, light on water. The smallest details turned into small miracles. He began sharing them online, not for attention, but as a journal of quiet moments. People started responding. Your photos make me feel calm. They remind me to slow down. One message said, I look forward to your mornings. Liam smiled reading them. He had never meant to inspire anyone. He was just learning to breathe again, and somehow others had learned with him. Months later, a sign appeared. City maintenance will replace the benches by the river. Safer, modern, durable. The words made sense, but they hurt. That old piece of wood had been there for him in a way nothing else had. He decided to visit early on the last day. The sunrise was soft and golden. The bench looked tired, but proud, a witness to countless mornings. He sat, ran his hand across the rough surface, and found his own initials carved faintly into the side. He opened his notebook, the one that had grown full over time, and read every word. Some dreams had come true, some had changed, and some still waited, patiently, like the river. Then, on a blank page, he wrote, If you find this note, slow down. You don't need to rush to live. Sometimes, life waits exactly where you stopped. He folded the paper carefully, placed it under the bench, and whispered a quiet goodbye. Weeks later, while checking his messages, he found a comment on one of his photos. I found your note under the old bench. I was having a hard day. Thank you. I really needed that. He read it twice and smiled. The bench was gone, replaced by a new one. Smoother, brighter, but somehow empty. Yet it didn't matter. What he had found there wasn't a seat. It was a way of seeing. Now, wherever he goes, Liam keeps the habit. Every morning, 5 quiet minutes before the world begins. Sometimes by a river, sometimes on a city corner, sometimes on a park bench no one else notices. He takes a sip of coffee, looks around, and reminds himself that peace isn't a place. It's a choice you keep making. And sometimes, when he sees his reflection in a cafe window or in the calm surface of a puddle after rain, he remembers that curious girl on her scooter and her question. Are you waiting for something? He smiles, takes another breath, and answers softly, No, I'm already here.